Penguin Zero's beef with Sneako was widely regarded as one of the biggest beefs in YouTube history. However, little did anyone know that this event would become the biggest mistake of Sneako's career, because after Penguin Zero unleashed a barrage of tweets that threatened Sneako's quote alpha persona, Sneako eventually resorted to threatening Charlie's life with a gun.
Voice critical, you wanna watch my clips? Watch my clips. Watch my clips!
But before we explore what exactly they said to each other and why it led to Sneako to threaten Charlie, we first need to set the stage for the conflict. In the red corner stands Penguin Zero, also known as Charlie or Mods Critical. Charlie is one of the oldest creators on the platform and has amassed a large audience thanks to his humble nature, monotone and calm demeanor, and being a genuine person who is really connected with his audience. It'd be a challenge to find a YouTuber who's been as consistent as Charlie has, which is one of the reasons why he has over 10 million subscribers on YouTube. But even someone as calm and collected as Charlie has had his fair share of drama over the years. Usually, he's the kind of person who wouldn't be the first to stir any kind of drama, but this situation was something entirely different to anything Charlie had faced during his time on YouTube, because in the other corner, there was Sneako. Sneako has gone through a lot of changes over the years, as his earlier content involved him being quieter and more authentic, as he gave his political opinions on a variety of topics, which many of his fans enjoyed.
Don't lie there for 5 hours on your side watching Netflix. Don't just lay there and get drunk and stoned all day. Right? Don't see a car and think about jumping in front, you know? Stay positive.
However, Sneako's personality really shifted when he started leaning more towards red-pilled ideology and branded himself as a challenger of the Matrix, urging his followers to quote-unquote wake up and get off Instagram and TikTok.
Wake up! Come back to reality! Get off of TikTok! Get off of Instagram! You're so stupid!
During the shift, Sneako's content changed, and it was obvious. From those calm and collected videos of him respectfully sharing his thoughts, to these loud, brash, and controversial rants. This change in personality brought a lot of controversy for Sneako, and much like Andrew Tate, he became known for being an unfiltered and loudmouth influencer who'd only say things to get more clicks.
Men objectify women. That's the point of going out and women living a lie. We go out so that women can look like objects and then we give them attention. That's what it is. And you're like, but women are queens and should be looked at for their personality. No, you need to be a woman needs to be an object of beauty, you fucking idiot. This is evolution. This is basic biology.
Sneako would later reveal that he was also a big fan of Charlie's content, but everything would change on the 20th of August 2020 when Charlie gave his opinion on the Netflix film Cuties.
I tried to watch because I only got through about 30 minutes before I turned it off. It is beyond repulsive. It is absolutely disgusting. The fact that Cuties is on Netflix is nothing shy of a crime in my opinion. It is actual softcore child.
The film gained a lot of hate from across the internet for using child actors in a provocative and inappropriate manner, which Charlie talked about in his video. However, Sneako would have a different point of view.
I saw Cuties last night and it was pretty good. It's a pretty good movie. I went in ready to hate like everybody else. The thing about Cuties is it's not an unrealistic film. Like, yes, it shows children in a sexual way, but this is not unusual now. And the people who are really mad about this aren't Gen Z.
He revealed that Cuties was one of his favorite films and argued that left-wing liberals were just hating on it because of its provocative imagery.
Americans are like, this is deplorable. I saw this commentator, Penguin Zero, who I actually like. There's not a lot of good commentators, but he's like, this movie is deplorable. There's nothing good about it. There's nothing. And it's like he didn't even watch the movie. It's just like he only saw the clips that were gonna piss him off. Or he just got so triggered by the provocative imagery that he just, deplorable. Come on, man.
In this video, Sneako specifically called Charlie out for not actually watching the film while berating it and calling for it to be cancelled, and this is what really caused the tension between the two to spiral out of control. Furthermore, Sneako would react to one of Charlie's older videos in which he called out the people from the Fresh and Fit podcast for a story one of them told about sleeping with a bunch of women.
I met this guy at a pool party. He's an NBA player. I won't say his name for some reasons, but you know, he's a pretty top-tier guy, high-value guy, right? I'm at the bar ordering drinks for my friends, and he says, yo, bro, what's a good spot to go party at tonight? I told him, look, bro, you can go downtown, you can go to Brickell, Wynwood, doesn't really matter, but I'm going to downtown because it's a really good spot. And then he's like, yo, bro, are you on Instagram?
And then he added me on Instagram, we became best friends, he got me a tryout with his NBA team, which I absolutely crushed and became a starter on the squad, setting NBA world records. He invited me to Thanksgiving at his parents' house, I f***ed his mom, and then the whole family clapped. That would be more believable than the story he's about to tell from here.
I was like, perfect, yeah, I am. So I give him my Instagram, and lo and behold, he followed me, he said, wait, you know this chick? So he posted this girl's profile, because you can see who's following someone that you just added from like the following list. I was like, yeah, I know her, bro. I used to like do her back in the day. He's like, damn, that's my shorty want to come in town. So basically, we were smashing the same chick.
No, you weren't. The only thing you've been smashing is your meat into your hand, you liar. This story's already got more plot holes in it than Kingdom Hearts.
Charlie would talk about how he felt the story didn't add up and sounded made up, which many of his viewers agreed. But Charlie could not have predicted how this one video would turn into a beef with Sneako, which would last a few more months. Sneako, being a close friend of Myron and Fresh Prince CEO, would call Charlie out for not believing the story, being against Red Pill ideology, and calling Fresh a liar when he didn't know the real story, which Sneako said did actually happen.
Accuse people like me, Take Fresh and Fit, of being, but every person in this comment section who's watching this video is getting. They don't know what they're talking about. They're all coping. Every single person here is believing that these nerds who don't go outside are saying. This no son, gaming ass 30-year-old man.
But regardless of the persona Sneako put on, his actions often depicted the opposite. He was prone to getting very emotional if anyone criticized him, which often led him to insulting other people's appearances. And he would react the same way when Charlie would make fun of his friends who hosted Fresh and Fit.
Obviously, anything that you got going on, the Pokemon cards, your pale face, the G Fuel fridge, the zero drip, the fact you just look like you look at the curtain pulled all the way down. You need to get some sun. The whole way you're living life like a man, you calling him a virgin.
However, Sneako would take things too far when he brought up Charlie's relationship and showed his girlfriend on stream to thousands of his viewers while openly mocking their appearances.
He's in a monogamous relationship. This is his girl.
Charlie would ignore Sneako's videos for a while, but his audience really wanted Charlie to make a dedicated response video, and Charlie eventually delivered.
And recently, he started targeting me because I made jokes about his friends on the Fresh and Fit podcast. But Sneako didn't see it that way because he's a very sensitive guy, and he'd started writing their wieners to try and defend a blatantly outrageous story that one of them told about meeting a basketball player at a party, then being invited by that basketball player to a mansion, and then a ton of girls at that mansion. And Sneako saw this and he wasn't too happy, so he got offended on his friend's behalf, which of course is a very alpha male thing to do.
Charlie would categorically destroy Sneako with his words, detailing how Sneako, for some reason, continued to defend the movie Cuties.
Also the reason I don't care what his opinion is of me, because it's coming from a man who likes cuties. So why the fuck would it matter if he thinks I'm a bitch or anything like that? It legitimately couldn't mean less coming from a guy who openly defends a softcore child production.
But Charlie still had a bombshell up his sleeve. To come back at Sneako for talking about his relationship, Charlie revealed details about Sneako's own relationship status, which would change Sneako's life forever.
But I couldn't help but take notice of one of his more recent viral clips where he openly defends getting cucked.
Imagine seeing the girl you love like get her? Yeah, I do.
And you allow the love of your life to get by another man.
But I think it's something everybody should do just to test. I know. You know what?
But what Sneako's talking about here isn't so much an open relationship, it's cuckoldry. You have watched your girl get in front of you on at least 2 occasions that he talks about here. It is a legitimately super sad thing to sit there and listen to, because Sneako is very clearly bothered by that whole situation, but is trying to play it off like a deeper message, like, no, this is actually a good thing, and in fact, I recommend every guy out there try letting their girl get by another man.
So after months would pass, Sneako would struggle to let go of the humiliation he suffered, and would later go into Twitter to diss Charlie every time he got the chance.
So the one in the middle, Moist Critical, just made a video about me, calling me a pedophile and a cuck. And to anybody in real life, it's like, whatever, bro, no one thinks either of that. And also the people who watch my streams have seen the same exact hippies video on me made so many times, just like, okay, here again.
Sneako would also make some points defending his take on the film Cuties, where he would argue that his key points were taken out of context and that the film actually had some value to offer.
All these YouTubers made videos about it and didn't watch the film. The film is not in support of pedophilia. In fact, it's completely against it. And some of the scenes, I will admit, probably too revealing. But the problem is that people like this will overly be like, this is terrible.
The situation quickly escalated, with both influencers exchanging insults on Twitter. Sneako would firstly write, "Pattern recognition. This collages everyone who advocated for my cancellation. Fight back and follow my rumble." In response to this viral tweet, Charlie would reply saying that his video wasn't cancellation, but instead was just him calling Sneako out for his disgusting views and behavior. "Holy you pathetic, sensitive soy little worm. I made fun of you for watching your girlfriend get f***ed by numerous other men, and also insulted you for defending CP. That's not cancellation. That's just spitting on you for being a pitiful sad cuck." The back and forth wouldn't end there, as Sneako would respond by calling Charlie out to a fight. "You're not special from the other 10 soy boys who say the same thing. If you got a problem, stop talking on the internet. Let's solve it." People around Twitter would also have their say in the matter, with people laying into Sneako for his takes. What's Sneako gonna do? Have someone else box critical while he watches? Barking like he don't use the internet to fuel his ego. Sneako would clap back tweeting, "Soy keyboard warrior at Moist Critical. We all knew he wouldn't accept a fight. Lil bro is a 5'3" pasty gaming manlet. Have some empathy. What matters is how the most influential commentators have no specific beliefs. They never get cancelled, they just talk. Why do you listen?" Their feud on Twitter would gain a lot of traction, with many people siding with Charlie, but Sneako just wouldn't let it go. Their beef would escalate to levels never seen before, as Sneako would threaten to shoot Charlie and went live on a stream waving his gun around and dancing.
Day after I posted my response, he went on stream and had a huge unhinged tantrum and meltdown about the whole thing, and then he sent some of his viewers over. So I was joking with them, saying like, "Oh, you guys must have just stopped the cuties watch party over there at Sneako's stream, right? Welcome cucks," that kind of shit. And it got really under his skin in a big way, so he started dancing around with the gun and threatening to come shoot me. So he kept saying, "Oh, you're in Tampa, right? I'll come see you," waving his gun around and dancing.
You wanna watch my clips? Watch my clips. Watch my clips. You want me to watch your clips? Watch my clips.
However, what happened next would prove to be the final nail in the coffin for Sneako.
Now, the reason he keeps saying "watch my clips" while threatening me here is because during the stream I couldn't watch him live because he just kept shouting slurs. So I said "watch my clips" to see what I was saying about you. I had to communicate via Twitch clips. And I'm sorry to be that guy, this is like the grammar police of guns, but he's a fucking imbecile, you absolute buffoon. What you have there is not clips. These are mags. They're mags, not clips, you absolute fucking dummy. The same way that this is also a mag. They're all mags. Stop saying clips, you look fucking stupid here.
Charlie would also add on how he felt everything Sneako had been doing was nothing more than an attempt to get more attention.
Sneako, you beating me in a fight doesn't unf your girlfriend from the numerous men that had sex with her in front of you. It doesn't do anything. Everything I've said still stands. Nothing changes. It doesn't even salvage your ego. All it is a pathetic attempt at attention.
One of Charlie's major talking points was the fact that after he'd insulted Sneako by bringing up a lot of valid points, all Sneako could do was call Charlie out to a fight.
When you are getting your feelings hurt and your immediate response isn't to fire back with insults, jokes, whatever, it's to challenge someone to a fight, you've taken a huge L. You've shown that the person has got under your skin, and the only thing you can resort to is a caveman brain of, "I'll beat you in a fight."
But the irony in the situation was that another influencer, Brandon Buckingham, had also called Sneako to a fight, in which Sneako conveniently ignored.
So this puffing out his chest of challenge me to a fight is clearly attention. That's what it feels like, because you don't have the same energy for Brandon Buckingham. Brandon Buckingham is more than willing to fight you any day of the week. But with him, you don't want to do that for some reason. Why? Do you not stand by your beliefs when it comes to Brandon Buckingham? He has said all the same things about you that I am saying about you. So why is he exempt? Why don't you want to fight him? That's so weird. This is what you said about Brandon Buckingham and fighting him.
And then finally, when Brandon Buckingham is down to meet Sneako, he's there to box him. They're both similar sizes. Sneako would now rather just sit at home and tell jokes behind his computer.
I'd rather sit at home and yell at a camera, tell jokes than, risk my manhood falling flat for Brandon Buckingham, if I lose the fight.
So now it's suddenly cool to just stay at home and keep it all online.
So, as you can see, the people he's confident in fighting are ones that he feels confident he'd win against. I'm 5'6", I think he's 6'1", so the height advantage he feels very confident with, and he has every reason to. He would probably beat me in a fight. But like I said, that doesn't change anything. Everything I've said is still true. You are a cuck, self-admitted, and you have defended cuties publicly, which, by more than just me, by many, is considered child. You're pathetic. Beating me in a fight doesn't change any of those facts.
Unlike Sneako, Charlie never raised his voice or shouted to present his points and arguments, which made it quite clear that he was the winner in this whole beef. And the people in the comments added into the conversation by saying, he doesn't even sound angry, he just sounds like a disappointed father. And the gun was brilliant. He didn't have to threaten him, he just casually corrected his grammar while showing off he ain't backing down. Sneako, on the other hand, only resorted to either making fun of Charlie's appearance or calling him a pedophile, as this was evident in the stream with Sneako and Aiden Ross.
Who looks more like a pedophile? Who would you rather not bring around your children? That dude with the beard and the fentanyl hair looking like he sleeps under a bridge, or me? Who looks like a pedophile? Does anyone, this is why this allegation is kind of stupid. Does anyone actually think I'm a pedophile? Does anyone think that? Take one look at this dude, it's like, bro, yeah, I would not. People who game all day, these Minecraft YouTubers.
Charlie would watch the clip later on one of his streams, and his reaction to it was what almost everyone had been thinking for a while, which was that all Sneako does is use the same insults whenever he gets offended by anything, and goes back to insulting other people's appearances.
Give your audience something to really enjoy instead of you repeating the same goddamn NPC response over and over. Watch the goddamn clips.
Even Aiden Ross would try to tell Sneako how he did get owned by Charlie, but Sneako is just having a hard time to accept that.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. He did really own you. You know he did. Come on.
Own me, bro. That's it. Okay, you just talk. Hold on. You talk about white people. That's some white people shit to be like, oh, clips, magazines. Bro, everybody says clip. Is that really an own to be like, actually, it's called magazine. Come on, bro.
Regardless, Sneako did, until the very end, try to defend his point and stood by his guns, which many people thought was pretty respectable. However, Sneako would later release another video which surprised many people. He attempted to take control of the situation as he talked about his past and how he himself had been corrupted by the Western woke machine.
Around 3 years ago, when I was 21 years old, I went to a swinger party with one of my girlfriends and joked about how traumatizing it was on a podcast. I was cheating on her a lot, and I felt bad, and I thought it would make us even if we swapped with the couple. I don't do it anymore, I don't recommend it, and seeing how many people call me a cuck for what I thought was a funny story, you should probably not do the same.
Sneako would still call Charlie out for promoting Satanism in his videos, specifically in his most recent music video.
These are 3 things that YouTube promotes on the trending page. Moist Critical playing with and sitting on those. Moist Critical using Satanism and Antichrist in his music videos. And his rampant gaming addiction.
But would still acknowledge his own errors and would even apologize to Charlie for showing a picture of him and his girlfriend on one of his streams.
And I apologize to Moist Critical for showing a picture on stream of you and your girlfriend. That was not very Christ-like. I'm sorry. And I genuinely hope you provide more value to your extremely large audience.
While everyone thought that this was the end of their interactions, it actually wasn't to be, because just a few days later, Sneako and Charlie would shock the internet when they got on a FaceTime call to finally have a debate face-to-face. The two creators would talk for over an hour, discussing many different things, and revealed a newer side of Sneako, one which wouldn't shy away from criticism, and would argue their points in a calmer manner.
Overall, the attitude towards the people I put in the collage is men who actively play video games all day, who push wokeness to some degree or another, and then when somebody speaks out against that, they try to go at their character rather than go at the message that they're trying to promote.
But while Sneako was still quite adamant on the fact that wokeness was ruining society, he was still complacent in many of the things he stood against.
Do you recognize how often you play the victim in terms of like, I'm being canceled, everyone's against me, you go on your Discord to talk more about it, even this morning talking and naming and shaming people that you think have slighted you as like a cancellation. You do the exact same things. Like, you are also an SJW.
That's not victimizing, that's actively pointing out that literally every single streamer, the entire internet, all of YouTube reacted to your video. I drop a response where I even apologize for going out of character and getting emotional. And then but nobody wants to see what I have to say.
However, Charlie would still defend himself when Sneako accused him of not having any morals or using his platform to provide more value for his viewers.
I do talk about these things. You are just not seeing them and then still putting words in my mouth. My beliefs, I think, are very clear to the people that watch. They're not a secret. They're not hidden. I make them very obvious. But we're so sidetracked now because you're trying to look for angles to throw me into these camps that I just don't fit.
The argument would take a few more turns, but it was clear that both creators weren't really going to change their minds on certain topics. Except both Sneako and Charlie did clarify some of the criticisms that were leveled their way in a pretty civil and respectful manner.
Being canceled and a lot of resentment about that, but I just have to spread positivity now and not engage in the same type of behavior that I criticize. Yeah, you're right about that. So I'm just gonna go and, I'm not gonna go attack mode anymore. I don't think that there's any value to that. It's just gonna come back to me.
Well, I actually really appreciate the conversation, man. It's nice to hear like a more human side of you outside of like, what I see on Twitter or Rumble.
While many people praised Sneako in the comments for his maturity, there were still some issues that some people pointed out. The first one being that Sneako was quite vocal about how Charlie was not adding any value for his viewers, all while Sneako had been doing live streams with Nick Fuentes. Even though Sneako did claim to have changed his ways and not be the same person he was, a lot of his newer content still had videos like Sneako rizzes up a girl in front of her boyfriend. While Sneako was giving his viewers good advice as well as encouraging them to go to the gym or how to develop social lives, his gimmick was still focused about how to get the most views, which was why he continued to stream with people like Neon.
Right? Like, I'm not actually serious. I'm not a bad person. Like, that cuck over there is actually a bad guy, but...
Yeah, looks like one.
Oh, he looks like a cuck? So there's really a story that I want to tell you about. So this girl was getting on his bed while he sat there and off in the corner.
Okay, well. Okay, nice. Cool. How do you know about that?
I watched it happen too.
But after the beef with Charlie settled down, Sneako's really tried to make some positive changes in his life. After he moved to Japan and started training and staying fit, there was still hope that Sneako would be able to make a change in his own lifestyle. And even though Sneako has done pretty well for himself to regain his audience after being banned from YouTube, he still won't ever forget how Charlie destroyed his reputation for millions to see.